Go Birds!
Let's go Birds! E-L-G-S, Eagles!
Yes!
It happened again. The Saints tricked us again. Not just us Saints fans were tricked by the Saints. The whole freaking NFL world was tricked by the Saints. I almost didn't fall for it this time. After the Panthers win, I was skeptical. I was like, I got to see against the Cowboys. They whipped the Cowboys. I'm bought in. I'm like, this team is good. And then they go out there and do whatever the hell that shit was. The same exact thing they've been doing to us for the last few years. They give us hope. They buy us back in. Then they trick us and it's just a fluke. And they did it once more again after losing to the Eagles, a horrendous loss to a team that was very, very beatable. These first 2 weeks were fun, but we're back. We're back to Saints football, and I can't. Let's play an ad or something, and then we'll get back into it. Big news to share with you guys today. I'm excited to be partnering up with Autograph, a company co-founded by NFL legend Tom Brady. Autograph is the best place to find the latest coverage of your favorite team, whether it's the NFL or NBA or MLB. Autograph has it all. They have articles, blogs, podcasts, literally everything that you could ever need as a fan on their app. On top of that, they reward you for viewing content of your favorite team, stuff that you were already gonna do. For example, me, I can listen to a Saints podcast anywhere, YouTube, Google, Spotify, Apple, literally anywhere. But if you listen or watch the podcast on Autograph, you get coins. And in the app, you can use those coins to redeem rewards, such as free, no-fee tickets, memorabilia and merchandise, and one-of-a-kind experiences. I'll also be uploading my content up there as well, so you can also watch my videos up there and get rewarded for doing so. All you have to do is download the Autograph app, which is free by the way, and use my referral code CASH, or you can just click my referral link down in the description. Again, use my referral code CASH, it'll help me and the channel out a lot. And if you want to help support me and the channel in any other ways, you can just click my link tree down in the description. There's lots of options for you there as well. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Let's get back to the video. So the Saints just suffered their first loss of the season to the Philadelphia Eagles at home in a devastating and horrendous loss of 15-12. Both teams were basically playing to lose this game. I had no idea what the Eagles were doing, and I also had no idea what the Saints were doing. It was basically a competition of who can do the better job of trying to lose. And it was more so from the offenses. The Eagles' decision making to go for it in terrible situations and not getting it. Then the Saints' offense just didn't even want to get first downs today. Absolutely terrible. The Saints offense was so horrible, I swear Clint Kubiak morphed into Clint Carmichael. The play calling was that bad. Throughout the whole game, Clint Kubiak continued to run the ball to the right side despite it not working the entire game. Refused to run the ball to the left, which actually did work the few times they did it. And it would have made more sense to do that considering the Saints have Talise Fuaga and they are a left-handed team and not a right-handed team. And despite the running game not working, Clint Carmichael continued to just run the football. And I get it. The running game is the base and the foundation of the system and what they want to do. But if you're running the ball and it's not working, at some point you have to accept the fact that it isn't working and try something else and not the same freaking play to the same player to the same side every single time when it's not working. Now, something that was working on the day was Chris Olave. 6 targets, 6 catches, 86 yards, a touchdown. Would have been nice to maybe get him more involved other than just 6 times. But hey, I guess running the ball to Alvin Kamara like Derrick Henry up the middle was more important than getting Chris Olave the football. On the day, Alvin Kamara had 26 carries. 26. Didn't have over 100 yards rushing either. Want to know how many carries every other running back, receiver, whatever had? It was 1. Jamal Williams was the only player who had another carry, and it was 1 time. Why are we not using Jamal Williams for the runs Alvin Kamara was getting up the middle? We also have Rashid Shaheed, Jordan Mims, Mason Tipton. You can't get them involved in the running game at all either. And look, I get it. Taysom Hill was out of the game. That is a huge huge factor. I also understand Eric McCoy was injured. Those two players alone have a very huge impact on the running game and how effective it's going to be. However, this overall game plan and offensive play calling was ugly. So ugly that the Saints at one point had two guards pulling into each other. I mean, what the actual hell is this? I have not seen this once in my lifetime. I've never seen two guards pulling into each other. Very rarely do you see two guards pulling, but man, you get two of them pulling together and you basically do the defensive line's job for them. There was simply just no game plan and no adjustments made once Eric McCoy went out with a groin injury, and that is how you lose football games. I understand Eric McCoy and Taysom Hill are two of your top players, but part of being a good coach is adjusting and being able to fight through adversity and make adjustments, and Clint Kubiak was not able to do that today. I mean, we even had Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara and the entire team forget what play they were running. Coincidentally, that was one of the best runs of the day. We had guards pulling into each other, third and medium runs to the right side on like 10 straight third downs, no adjustments, and you better believe on one of the most important plays of the game on that 2-point conversion after a Chris Olave touchdown, guess who was in at running back when it was a passing play? It wasn't Alvin Kamara, it was Jamal Williams. And what would you know? Where the ball went to? The running back. And the Saints did not end up getting the 2-point conversion. An overall complete disaster class from the Saints offense, and especially offensive coordinator and play caller Clint Kubiak. Now, it wasn't all on Clint Kubiak. While his play calling and his scheme and his lack of adjustments were very frustrating to watch, it wasn't all on him. The offensive line as a unit was complete ass cheeks. They couldn't block for running plays, especially on the right side. And when they did block, they got penalized for it because apparently Trevor Penning didn't realize that you can't block someone past, the out of bounds marker, and they lost 15 yards because of that penalty. A stupid penalty at that. Trevor Penning finally gets a good block, finally has a good moment, and gets penalized for it. And while the offensive line had a bad day, both run blocking and pass blocking, that also doesn't take away from the fact that Derek Carr did not have a good game either. He nearly threw a pick six after the Saints defense came up with a huge 4th down stop. He was ineffective, and that interception at the end of the game was absolutely terrible. Every time the Saints need Derek Carr to come up with a game-winning drive or lead the Saints downfield to tie up the game, at the end of the game, he never seems to be able to do it, and at this point, I'm ready to say it, he might just be a game manager. He's only going to be as good as the play calling. He's only going to be as good as the people are around him. He's mid, and that's just a system quarterback. And in this game, this is where we saw the Derek Carr that we all know and love from last season. The past 2 weeks, shall I say we had an imposter? No, I'm just kidding. He actually played really well the last 2 weeks, but this game, he did not look good versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And because, man, what would you know, the second the Saints faced some adversity, Derek Carr was not able to perform and play at a high level like he has been the last few weeks. Derek Carr is known for not being able to handle pressure in tough situations, and what would you know, his worst game of the season came when the Saints needed him most, and it was ineffective. Like I said earlier, it wasn't all of his fault, but he sure as hell did not play good. He wasn't effective, he wasn't productive, more bad than good in my personal opinion from Derek Carr. Now, one positive from this game though is that a wide receiver not named Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed finally caught a pass. Coming into this game, only one other receiver had caught a pass, that was Mason Tipton, and it was one time. This time, Cedric Wilson and Mason Tipton both caught passes, but were both ineffective and did nothing, so it didn't matter anyway. And I also would like to bring up, remember that dude A.T. Perry who everyone was crowning, going to be better than Michael Thomas? Well, where's he been? He's been a healthy inactive, hasn't been playing. So much for the next Michael Thomas. Then you also had Rashid Shaheed. He was ineffective all day, didn't do much. I don't even think he had a catch, didn't have an offensive touch, and he dropped a possible touchdown on a deep pass slightly underthrown from Derek Carr, and it ended up being incomplete. But I will say this, the only X factor or playmaker in the game for the Saints offense was Chris Olave, who had 6 targets for 6 catches 86 yards and 1 touchdown. One touchdown that came at the end of the game and was almost the game winner. Throughout the whole game, every time the Saints threw the ball to Chris Olave, it worked. So I don't understand why they never went to it more than 6 times. Him having 6 targets in this game is malpractice. But hey, something that makes it a little bit sweeter was that on his touchdown pass, he cooked former Saints defensive back Chauncey Gardner Johnson for a toe drag touchdown. And for a guy who quite frankly did nothing all game except celebrate the Saints getting first downs and commit penalties, get stiff-armed, and allow a touchdown, Chauncey Gardner Johnson was talking a lot of trash after the game. He was out here tweeting out that we're keeping receipts, we're keeping that, fly Eagles fly. He also brought up the fact that the Saints will never be contenders as long as Derek Carr is the quarterback. Also mentioned that our favorite defensive back could not chase down a tight end. Now, remind me of something real quick. I'm getting a flashback. 2019 49ers. Didn't Chauncey get hooked by a tight end in probably the most important game of the season? So essentially, Chauncey Gardner Johnson is the kid who gets an A+ on the group project, and that kid did nothing. Now flipping things over to the defensive side of the ball for the New Orleans Saints, they did their thing 98% of the time. Unfortunately for the Saints defense, 98% of the game wasn't good enough. An end zone interception by Tyrann Mathieu wasn't good enough. A forced fumble when the Eagles were near the end zone wasn't good enough. 2 fourth down stops when they were in Saints territory wasn't good enough. And a blocked punt was not good enough. You want to know how many points the Saints got off of those turnovers and turnover on downs? 0. None. Literally nothing off of those turnovers and turnover on downs. They got nothing from them. And the worst of them all was the blocked punt. JT Gray, legend right here. We have the JT Gray jersey right here. He blocked a punt, set the Saints offense up for great field position to possibly get a touchdown, help secure a win. And the Saints ran the ball 3 straight times and didn't get a first down. 4th down comes up. In a tough game like this, maybe take the field goal. Points are very critical in a game like this. They end up going for it, and they can't get a yard. Can't get 1 single yard. In a game where your offense was struggling all day, in a game where you were not able to get past midfield outside of the opening drive, you decide to go for it on 4th down in the 4th quarter when you could take 3 free points. That right there is a huge reason why the Saints lost. But also, there was no guarantee Blake Grupe was going to make that kick because he barely made that 37-yarder when it doinked into the goalpost. The Saints were not able to take advantage of the opportunities the defense presented them, and for that matter of fact, for the opportunities Nick Sirianni's dumbass presented them. Nick Sirianni gifted the Saints this win, and they said, no, you can keep it. Even with all of this, with the offense literally doing nothing, I felt like I was back in 2022, 2023 watching the Saints. The Saints offense, for the most part, was bending but not breaking. But at some point, they were going to break when they were on the field practically the entire game. I don't blame the Saints defense for allowing Saquon Barkley to break loose on that 60, 70-yard touchdown run. It was bound to happen because they were on the field the entire game. They were gassed, they were tired. The offense was not complementing how good their defense was playing. However, though, I do blame Dennis Allen and the defense for that 3rd down and 16. 3rd and 16, and they decide to run man coverage. Man coverage on 3rd down and 16. They only had one good weapon on the field who they could throw to. Dallas Goedert, the guy who had been killing us the entire game. A.J. Brown is out. Devontae Smith is out. Saquon Barkley, he's not going to be a big factor on 3rd down and 16. They run man coverage, and we got 3 guys running into each other. Tyrann Mathieu, Marshawn Lattimore, and it looks like Will Harris as well, all run into each other, allowing Goddard to go all the way downfield and set up the Saquon Barkley go-ahead game-winning touchdown. Now, we gave Clint Kubiak some crap for not adjusting and making adjustments on offense. Dennis Allen did not make any adjustments to stop Dallas Goedert, and it really backfired. 3rd and 16 running man coverage, just play some zone, make Jalen Hurts make a good pass. Don't give him man coverage because then you got mismatches. That's exactly what we got here, and it really really costed the Saints the game. Now, like I've been saying throughout the whole video, this game to me is more so on Clint Kubiak in the offense, more so than it is on Dennis Allen in the defense. Some iffy things from DA, but overall, his side of the ball did their job. There's a few challenges maybe, or some possible questionable decisions from DA, but overall, this game came down to poor play calling from Clint Kubiak and poor execution from the offensive line, the receivers, and the quarterback. I mean, this game really showed that when they face adversity, they don't have the ability to make adjustments to help win the game. Yes, I get it. Injuries suck. You lost 2 of your best players, but guess what? Every team in the NFL has injuries. Make adjustments and go out and win a football game. And to think Drew Brees was in the building, man, we always embarrass ourselves whenever Drew Brees is in attendance, and we always have to put up sloppy football for our GOAT. He deserves to watch better football than this, and so do we. A rough outing for the Saints after a hot start to the 2024 season, and they suffered their first loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully, though, they can get back on track this upcoming week as they get ready to head to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I do believe that Clint Kubiak this upcoming week can learn from his mistakes, bounce back, have a good game, and improve from this. And I hope he does because, man, I cannot watch another game like this. This was really bad. He did a few things well, like had Alvin Kamara on the wheel routes, got Chris Olave that corner touchdown and mismatch versus Chauncey. But overall, he had a bad game calling plays. Hopefully, though, he can learn from his mistakes and improve moving forward. Because if we're going to give him credit when we win and he's the reason we're winning, we also got to give him crap when he's the reason we lose. And in this case, he costed us the game. Bad games do happen in the NFL, even from the best, so it'll be very interesting to see how Clint Kubiak and the Saints respond after facing some adversity on Sunday. Subscribe to my channel, Catch Sports, for more daily NFL content. Have a good one. Peace.